Today on this 2010 Ford Fusion, we're going to install part number 4420-1 from Roadmaster. This is a bracket kit for their XL series. Alright, first thing we're going to do is go ahead and open up the hood and get to the fasteners that we'll need to remove to take off the bumper fascia. We'll have to remove 6 plastic fasteners and 4 screws attaching the upper fascia to the core support. Next we'll go into the fender wells, and there'll be 3 plastic fasteners on each side that we'll have to remove. Okay, next we'll go ahead and go underneath the vehicle, and there'll be a variety of screws to uninstall. There'll be about 13 of them. We'll go around the perimeter of the bumper fascia, and there's 2 more closer to the engine. Next we'll go ahead and pull back the fender liner underneath the vehicle and get access to the fog lights. We have 2 connectors to deal with. The smaller gray connector has a small tab that we can push down and release it. And the larger connector has 2 tabs on the side. We'll have to release 1 on each side and work it off. At this point, we can go ahead and start removing the bumper fascia. We'll start by the corner on the wheel well and pull out and then straight away from the vehicle. In this case, the plastic catches are pretty tight, so we're going to use a small screwdriver to help pop them loose. Next, we'll go ahead and remove the shock absorption pad. That will be the black plastic material that's behind the bumper fascia. There are 8 clips that we need to push down to release it from the bumper core. Some vehicles will have an oil cooler. There'll be a line that will run over to it, and it'll be pretty close to the location where our base plate will install. Now this vehicle does not have that cooler, but if there was, there'd be a plastic loom to cover up the line to help protect it. Alright, on the driver's side there's a wire harness that we need to loosen up as well. There's a small plastic press fitting that we have to remove. Now we're going to loosen up this wire and push it out of the way to give us room for our installation. Now after installation, you can go back and check to see if you had enough room for the bracket, and then you could reinstall this plastic rivet if you need to. Next, we're going to have to remove 2 subframe nuts and washers underneath the vehicle. At this point, you're definitely going to need a support to put underneath the subframe, because when you loosen these 2 nuts, the subframe will tilt down away from the vehicle if it's standing up, even if the wheels are on the ground. Okay, with the subframe secure, we'll go ahead and remove the nuts. Next, we'll go ahead and put the base plate into position. We'll apply some Loctite. We'll place the rear mounts over the studs that we just removed the nuts from. Then we'll go ahead and reinstall the flat washer and nuts. Now we're just going to snug these bolts down for now. Now we can go ahead and use a clamp to clamp the base plate to the bumper structure, because the base plate will fit up against it. With the base plates clamped into place, we'll go ahead and tighten down and then torque them down as specified in the instructions. Now we'll go ahead and use our base plate as a template. We're going to drill out 3 holes in the bumper core. We'll start off by using a 1/2-inch drill bit and making a mark in the bumper core to find our center. Then we'll go ahead and drill out a pilot hole first. The material that the bumper structure is made out of is a hard material, so it's imperative that you have a very sharp bit to do this with. So it's a good idea to start off with a couple pilot holes first. Maybe a 1/4 inch bit, and then a 3/8, and then follow it up with a 1/2 inch. As we drill our holes out, we're going to go ahead and install the hardware. This will help keep it from moving around when we drill out the rest of our holes. We'll install the bolt, the lock washer, and then the block with the nut. We'll run the bolt and the lock washer together, run it through the base plate, then through the bumper structure and out the top. Then we'll install the nut and block on top of the bumper structure. We're just going to snug these up for now until we have all our holes drilled out. Okay, with all our holes drilled out, we can go ahead and install the fasteners for good. We'll take them out one at a time, apply some Loctite, and then go ahead and torque them down as specified in the instructions. Now I can go ahead and work with the shock absorption pad. We'll hold it up against the bumper structure and see where it meets up with the base plate. We'll make some marks on it so we know where to cut it out around it to make sure it fits with the base plate. There'll be 3 spots on top and 3 spots on bottom. And we'll go ahead and use a rotary tool to make our cuts. Once our cuts are made, we'll go ahead and pull it into place and do a test fit. You may have to trim a little bit extra. Just make sure that the absorption pad snaps back into place. Next, we gotta do some trimming on the bumper fascia. Alright, now it's a good idea to hold the bumper fascia up into place and see where the base plates will fit through the grill. We'll go ahead and mark it and then cut them out on both sides. Then we'll go ahead and do a test fit with the bumper fascia to see if we have to do any more trimming. Once we're satisfied with the fit, we can go ahead and take the bumper fascia and reinstall it for good. We'll put it into place and snap it on the sides by the fender well. Then we'll get underneath the vehicle and reinstall the wiring for the fog lights. Okay, at this point, we can go ahead and reinstall the fasteners that hold the bumper fascia in place. In reverse order, we'll start from the bottom and work our way up. Alright, now we can go ahead and install our safety cables. There'll be a quick link and one of the short cables. We'll take the quick link, open it up, slide it through the opening that's built into the base plate, and then thread on the short safety cable. Then we'll screw the quick link back together. And that's it for the safety cables. Now with the bumper fascia installed, we can go ahead and show how the brackets will fit with the base plate. We'll slide it into place, and then we'll install the pin and clip. Now this is going to be a tight fit to pin and clip. It's a good idea to take the pin and clip and put the handle in first, then rotate it, then push it through the base plate and the bracket. Then we'll go ahead and line it up and install the clip on the other side. Alright, and with that, that'll finish it for our install part number 4420-1 from Roadmaster on our 2010 Ford Fusion.